Have we done enough research and are we at a point where we're ready to talk about the history of the 250-gram regulations around the world? Or should we save that for another
Ooh.
meeting?
I mean,
Well,
you're
it's
probably better at it than I am. Um,
See,
Blunty's done a
I've
lot of
just
the
written.
research for us.
Yeah, he's off mic.
no, he's
Um,
here. You want to talk about that a little bit, Valenti?
Yeah, I can.
Maybe
Basically,
a preview?
yeah, basically the goal was, we've heard before in the past, and I think we've said before in the past, that our 250-gram limit comes from a force calculation based on based on a NASA study from the 60s. But diving deeper into it, it turns out that it's actually it's from 1896. In 1896, there was a paper written about how to fight wars, like how to fight battles. I think it was a French paper. And they said essentially that 80 joule number is the amount, which is the number they're using to justify 250 grams. And the 80 joules is used in a lot of other explosive calculations and things because of this single thing in 1896 that they've carried on forever. And essentially, it was a guess. It has no backup data. There's no information to back it up, and it was colloquially known by the by like the local generals, and it was just passed through this document from them. So nobody knows where the calculation came from, why we have it, like where it comes from. And if you look through history, essentially there's just document after document after document after document summarizing why it doesn't make any sense to use this number, but stating we don't have any better data and we don't have any justification to change this number currently.
So basically, someone said if you make a bullet or a cannonball that's about this weight, it'll probably kill somebody. And they've just used that for forever.
So, I mean, here's the rub on this, right? Is that a lot of these mass calculations were done out of, I mean, in terms of a bullet, right, or a mortar shell or shrapnel or anything like that was meant to kill. And generally, these things are made of lead, metal, different things that are hard and not pliable. And
not meant to
one of
fly.
what's that?
I mean,
Not meant to
Not
fly.
meant to fly.
Meant to
Well,
go
I mean, meant to
fast.
move through the air, but but here's the thing, right? Is that we've come so far in terms of materials technology, in terms of carbon fiber, plastics, foams, all the things that we use to craft our model airplanes, our drones. That it's really a material sciences study that needs to be done to really invoke any kind of hard regulation in terms of a weight limit. So it's just an interesting thing that this old knowledge passed down from over 100 years ago has become the basis in which we are regulated into our drones, right? So
yeah, another, if you go through all these history of these summaries, people have done this many times, have gone through and explained why, doesn't make any sense for many different applications. But one thing they talk about a lot is, it's sort of an arbitrary decision of lethality.
right.
So, at some point you have to make a decision about what percent of lethality based in even this situation they're describing is okay. And in one of the documents I was able to find a military document from like 70 something describing explosions, they were saying that, that 80 joule number essentially would be like a 1% lethality rate. So then the question is like, where do you set? Do you set 1%, 50%, 99%? Like, what's the actual number you should even set for lethality if that's how you're handling it? Like, there's just so many pieces to why it doesn't make sense.
right,
You can keep pulling it apart. Like,
and the
it's
whole
just silly.
the whole thing is it's kinetic energy, and so that's 1/2 mv squared, and so 1/2 times mass times the velocity squared, and that's ridiculous in this day and age to be talking about this. As Josh was saying, we're not thinking about the density, we're not thinking about the frangibility of the aircraft, and we just so happen to have worked on TG11, where we were blessed to, and I mean that seriously, to work with a fellow, Tony Nannini from Google Wing. Very, very bright guy. And so there's a great paper on target level of safety on this. So this is what we're recommending that the FAA use instead of a lethality metric for drones. And let's see, that was only 2 years ago. And so they're fixing to get us an answer. Not yet. XJet, Bruce, thank you so much for the link. I did not see this video. I will definitely watch this and add in anything we can.
So
Yeah, I mean,
if 250 gram drones have killed 0 people, so that's 250 times 0, then we should be able to go to 500 gram drones, and that would also be times 0 would equal 0 deaths, right? So we can keep making them bigger and bigger, and this should still not kill anybody.
That's right.
I mean,
Yeah, that's why calculation and the FAA put forward a lethality metric and they just moved the decimal. Well, drones should be safer, so we're going to multiply the setting by 2 orders of magnitude. I mean, it was really, and so we hope that the document that we wrote refuted, any effort that should go anywhere.
just in case testimony is needed, I have been struck by a 5-inch drone in the back and didn't even leave a bruise. So, and it was going pretty fast.
That would be funny to be in a meeting. It's like, we called Josh to the stand and he's still alive, therefore it proves that.
Yeah, to turn XJet's question around, the part of what the expression is would you like to catch a basketball or catch a bullet out of a rifle? And they both have the same number of joules or kinetic energy in them. So, and that's where the density as well as the frangibility of an aircraft comes into play.
I mean, and even from a material sciences standpoint, I mean, carbon fiber flexes and whatnot upon an impact. It has give to it. It can shatter, which is why, we replace so many arms sometimes, especially Alex.
Yep, I have my bin. Yeah, right over. Oh yeah, right here actually.
There you go.
Full of broken
all
carbon
the broken
fiber.
parts.
There
Exactly.
you go.
So, plastics are the same thing. It's just funny. So, and the other thing I'm just going to put out into the ether, and nobody's going to see this, but if you know a journalist that writes drone articles, please stop using the same old crappy drone images. We've come so far. Like, people are still using Phantom images. People are still using
what's wrong with the Phantom?
Mark 1 Mavic images. People are using those cheap Amazon drone images. Just like, let's move on with the times, right? If you're doing an FPV drone race article, use a picture of an FPV
racing drone.
Alex will provide them.
That's right. We'll provide the copyrighted photograph.
So XJet, yes, Assure were the ones that flew the Phantom into an air. It wasn't. I don't think it was a window. I think it was an airliner wing. Yeah,
I'm not sure if that was Assure. I think that was outside of Assure.
Well, Assure
maybe
published
he's talking about
study,
another one.
Yeah, we got to be careful when we talk about Assure, because Assure is it's now beyond, right? And so this is it's a grant program to universities. That's what Assure is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great. It's money funded by the FAA for research done in universities.
Yeah. So old information, and I think I'm not sure, but I thought there were some articles kind of debunking some of the wing study there. So, but anywho, yeah. So definitely some changes needed, and if we can up that limit to 500 grams, a kilogram, that's the hope, and something we're definitely pushing for right now. So stay tuned.